Hey, before we get started on this portion of the net, let me go back over here. Yeah, hey, I want to, well, because I'm going to put this part up on YouTube at least. So, because it's so important. And I want to ask you guys before we get started with this to help grow this community. I'm looking to get to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video, whatever platform you're watching it on. You can watch this. My main channel for these Saturday morning things is Rumble. You can also catch me on X at Grayman Survival. Mondays, we do the 40 meter JS8 call net. We pass traffic, we do check ins, a lot of fun, and you could do a lot of stuff with JS8 call. Saturday mornings, we're doing this net on Wires X and YSF, and you can always learn more about all this stuff at my website, s3films.com. Let's go back to our topics. Today, we are going to talk about HR 1094. This was introduced on January 30th of this year, just 15 days ago. Sponsored by Congressman August Pfluger. I thought I could say that earlier. He's a Republican out of Texas. I want to thank him personally. Thank you, Congressman Pfluger, for sponsoring this bill. I want to do a call to action. We are over 750,000 ham radio operators in this country. If every single one of us wrote a letter to our congressman, this would pass in a heartbeat. And now let's get into it. So this is a bill this act may be cited as the Amateur Radio Emergency Preparedness Act. Guys, remember, this is a House bill introduced January 30th of this year. And let's see, screenshot. Yep. Here's the guy right here. August Pfluger, out of Texas. He's in the Texas 11th Congressional District. I want to thank you, Congressman, again, for doing this. Let's see. Here's what really pisses me off about this whole thing. I just heard about this the other day on a Telegram group. This is this morning's front page of the ARRL. And do you notice anything missing from this? This is huge. You would think that this would be the number one thing in ham radio. But no, there's no mention of this, of support this. The latest news, the ARRL headquarters is going to be closed on February 17th. Rig Experts administrative offices were destroyed in a Russian missile attack. Amateur Radio Emergency Service renews their relationship with the Red Cross. That is all well and good, but there is absolutely nothing that the ARRL has done to promote or to ask you to get involved with what is going on, which is probably right now in ham radio the single most important topic that we could be talking about here in the United States. So back to the bill here, the short title, I highlighted that. So more than 770,000 amateur radio operators in the United States licensed by the Federal Communications Commission, in this section referred to as the Commission. In the amateur radio services, and by treaty, amateur radio operators licensed in other countries that are authorized to operate within the United States. Guys, I am thinking we are probably collectively about 1 million-ish. So, blah, 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 blah. I invite you guys to download this for yourselves. I will try to put a link up on, I'll try to put a link to it after the show to get you guys a copy of this. Maybe I'll throw it up on the website. The commission regulations have more than for 3 decades prohibited state and local regulation of amateur radio antenna structures that preclude or fails to reasonably accommodate amateur services communication, or that does not constitute a minimum practicable regulation to accomplish the legitimate state or local purpose. The policy of the commission has been and is to require states and local localities to permit erection of a station antenna structure as heights and dimensions sufficient to reasonably accommodate amateur service communications. The communication struck an appropriate balance by enabling effective use of the amateur service without burdening localities and adjoining properties. The commission has sought the guidance and direction from Congress with respect to the application of the commission's limited preemption policy regarding amateur service communications to private land use restrictions, including the restrictive covenants. So that, guys, what this is basically telling HOAs to go pound sand. This is what we have been waiting for years. This is what the ARRL has asked money for, has told us this is what they're doing with our dues for years and years. Every other year or every so often, one of these bills, the Ham Radio Protection Act or whatever, would come into play, and it would go nowhere in Congress. Well, now we know why. Because they would tell us, the ARRL would tell us after the fact, when everything was done. Now we got something here, guys, that is done just 15 days ago. This was introduced just 15 days ago. So, to further the public interest benefits that amateur radio brings to society, private land use, restrictions that prohibit, restrict, or impair amateur radio from operating, installing, or maintaining effective outdoor station antenna structures should be preempted. That means no more HOAs can tell you that you can't put up an antenna or you've got to hide it. You've got to do anything like that. So, guys, this, hey, it goes on and on. It's a pretty lengthy, bill here. It is, well, it's only 14 pages. And I don't want to read 14 pages worth of stuff here. But it's, a lot of it looks pretty boilerplate. I kind of went through and I grabbed up what I thought was the main meat of this thing. So guys, that brings me to my next point is, again, we need to be writing our congressman. if everybody gets on the web and goes to their congressman's website, and let's see, let's look. This is short and to the sweet, or short and sweet to the point, because that's what you want your letter to be. This is going to be to Mike Simpson, my congressman here. I will send it to all my congressmen and senators um, here from Idaho. And it just says that I am writing you to express my support for Congressman Pfluger's bill HR 1094, the Amateur Radio Emergency Preparedness Act. I am one of nearly 1 million licensed amateur radio operators in the U.S., and I believe strongly about emergency preparedness. Please support HR 1094 and consider co-sponsoring this bill. Guys, that's very important, is to co-sponsor, or to get your congressman to possibly co-sponsor this bill. And if we can get one congressman from, say, 50 states, this thing will pass. I almost guarantee you, because one letter to your congressman, they say, is worth 5,000 voters. Here in Idaho, one letter from your congressman equals a lot of people. I know in California, not so much, and they really don't care. But if you contact your congressman and you're talking about this subject, unless they're in bed with the HOAs, I really don't see how this is anything other than a positive, a win-win. And if we get the word out to our elected officials that we want this passed, that it's high time that that those of us that live in HOA restricted communities, because I know there's a lot more of us getting into HOAs as we get older, as as time flies, and you just don't have let's see, let me move you back over here. You don't have the oomph to keep up with, 5, 6, 10 acres, more than that. You want to move into a smaller community. Maybe you're going to move into an apartment and you're going to downsize everything. You're getting older. Who knows? Does that mean that you should give up your ham radio rights, your privileges to be part of the ham radio community? Oh, I just moved into a condo. Now I can't put an antenna up. So I'm kind of screwed, and I'm only going to do now 2-meter 440, whatever I can fit inside my apartment or my house. Or should you be allowed to put an antenna outside if you can do it legally? And not have an HOA tell you that you can't do that. Let me get. All right. Oh, hey, one more thing. I said, write your congressman. Also, send an email to Congressman Pfluger of Texas. Jump onto his website, go look him up, send him an email that says thank you for doing this, and let him know that you support him in his work to get this done for us. He looks like a good guy. He's a reserve Army officer. I think he's like a lieutenant colonel. Really, sounds like a good guy. Do you guys have anything? You can let me know. Let's see. I just put your video on my Facebook. Beautiful. KK7RDO. just put the video on Facebook. And yeah, I'm going to break this part of it out and or the after the radio, and I'll put that on Facebook. I'll probably post the entire thing to Facebook, just to let people know what's going on here, because I think this is pretty freaking important. Going forward, we need to get this video out to everybody. People need to know that what is it, where are we, that yeah, the ARRL is not doing anything for you right now. And I'm not trying to bag on these guys. I sincerely want them to lead the charge, but honestly, with less than 130,000 members out of 770,000 in the United States, they don't have much leverage anymore in Congress. They have some if they lend their name to it, but I see nothing here. I saw nothing in that bill, and I will try to link that bill on my website, or I'll do something. I'll try to link it somewhere um, in the comments later on. And you know what? Get a hold of your ARRL representative, whether you're a a member or not. Get a hold of them and let them know what you that you saw this video, and that, hey, where are you guys on this? You know, better late than never. Well, late to the party, but at least they'll get to the party. And super, super important, guys. Write your congressman. You can't just say, I'll do it tomorrow. It takes just a couple of minutes to send an email to your elected representative, and just super, super quick and dirty. I support this bill. I want you to support this bill. You don't have to go into a long dissertation. They don't read a dissertation, but they do read, I want you to support HR 1094 from the House, from Congressman Pfluger of Texas. And I want you to co-sponsor that bill. Your congressman will get that message, and they will get it loud and clear if enough of us write it, and they'll pass it. I guarantee you they'll pass it. Together, you and I can do this. Let's see. Does anybody else have anything for the net? Does anybody have anything in the comments or on the radio? Let me know right now. And if not, we're going to, wrap this thing up. We'll be quick and dirty, just like I want you guys to be with your congressman. Quick and dirty, get him the information, let him know. Let's get this thing passed. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the Southern Idaho Preparedness Net. And we will see you guys next week. Don't forget, we are Saturday mornings on Rumble, on the Idaho Preparedness channel on Rumble. Please subscribe to that channel. Please subscribe to me on K6UDA Guns and Ham Radio on Rumble. Also, subscribe over on YouTube to K6UDA, and I will see you guys next week. Later.